I'm coming to you this evening to pose a question concerning three different topics, but they're combined. The first one topic is the church, second is the right wing, and the third is extremism and how it affects us, and how that, in my opinion, may not be yours, of course, because we each have our own, but I have evidence and can link the church, the right wing, and extremism together. How that the church, for instance, takes tithes and offerings from its parishioners or its members, the people that attend, yet what they get for those tithes and offerings in return is not biblical, and it's extremely unfair and extremely undignified, and I think it's extreme insult to God, to Christ, and should be an insult to all of our conscience for us to continue in an Old Testament legalistic practice that is not necessary today, and it is actually being abused today. Similarly, the right wing, which is intertwined with the church these days and exacts great influence in the church, and it's even been said that the right wing is the thought process of the church, in that if you are a Christian, you're saved, born again, saved, and filled with Holy Spirit possibly, that you are a right-wing thinking type of person, that you are conservative. And that's the majority of the people that I talk to, that's their thought process concerning the right wing, concerning conservative way of living and thinking. And I said to you that the conservatives that I have observed on the news are extreme liars. They are extremely manipulative concerning the politics of the day. They manipulate the church to the point where you would think the church and the people that attended these different institutions had no sense at all. In fact, the people that sit in the pews have in the last 8 years or so, well, longer, but in the last 8 years, they were, it was such a travesty how the church was just maybe kidnapped in their intellect, because pastors were endorsing candidates. However subtly they were doing it. They were doing it where even the simplest of person sitting in the congregation knew exactly what their stance was concerning a particular candidate. So that is where the right wing is connected to the church. And of course, as we go on, you probably have experienced instances where you have observed something that was going on in connection with the right wing in the church, and how both of these institutions and organizations, whatever you might call them, are connected to extreme views and extreme actions, especially today. And I want feedback on how that we can get back to what is true, to what is real, to what is necessary, to get back to being our brothers and sisters' keeper, to get back to compassion, to get back to caring for one another as we should care for one another. And that's not always connected to money. Sometimes you can show a great deal of compassion to your fellow person by just listening. That takes great patience, that takes great fortitude, and that takes a lot of effort just to listen. And the reason a lot of people don't know it takes a lot of effort because they never tried to listen in the first place. And we should learn learn to do that. We hear a lot of things. We hear our pastors on Sunday telling us how necessary it is for us to pay our tithe, which is a tenth of your income. And I think it's lunacy today, especially if you're a husband or a wife and you have kids, or even if you're a single individual, with the income that they are paying people today on these jobs, to take 10% of your income and give it to anybody. It's wrong. And it's even if you think it's right, that's a personal thing. And that's fine. I'm not saying that you don't have to pay a 10%. That is your free choice to do so. God made us free will individuals. We do as we please to do and accept the consequences. Because the consequences, whether you accept them or not, are going to come. There's going to be some action, behind, what we do. There's going to be some penalty to pay, some reward. Something's going to take place. For every action, there's a reaction. So we got to pay attention to what we're doing. And what the church is doing, where tithes are concerned, is basically, if I may be extreme, pimping the people of God. And I know a lot of pastors say, well, most of the people in our church don't pay tithes. Well, that's where they feel it's very necessary to be reduced.